What's going on, everybody? Nazdarachi here, and I'm just trying out something a little different today. What I'm doing is tinkering with Android emulators to see if I have any live streaming capabilities on this PC. So this is not going to be my typical edited and styled Relic review, but I did figure that I could test this stream platform by reviewing this Rose of May Banner 1. I know I'm a little bit late covering it, but it's really because I've been tinkering with like 5 different Android emulators for a day and a half, trying to optimize them and get them to work. So this might be a little laggy at times, but I'm recording. You didn't miss a live stream. I didn't actually stream this. I am just going retroactively recording it and uploading it. So let's hit the Relic banner here. Alright, we've arrived, and our first item is the Ultima Blade. It is a very standard overstrike sword here. We got the typical 169 attack that we like to see, a constant small boost to holy damage, which is fairly standard for these things now, and it boasts the same name as Cloud Sword, which is interesting. They always copy names in this game. Overstrike, Soul Break, Psych, and Climb Hazard. Deal a massive physical, holy, and non-elemental attack to one target. More damage for each knight ability the user has activated, and can break the damage cap. So, if you use this Overstrike properly as a finishing move, you should be able to use this fancy little damage multiplier they've added here to boost the damage of it. It's still fairly average of an Overstrike, maybe a little bit above so in a holy based situation, but you don't want to rush straight out the gate using an Overstrike with Dr. Mog's teachings or Mako Might usually. So like I said, the knight abilities you should be able to stack. Again, I'm not sure how strong the attack is with and without using the abilities. I'm not sure what that multiplier is, but for any enemy that's weak to holy, you wouldn't mind packing that, as well as if you want some Final Fantasy IX synergy. Beatrix is pretty cool. Seems like you got about a 1.02% chance to draw that Ultima Blade there, and good luck to you if that's what you'd like. Next up, we have another Burst Soul Break for Garnet here. Her dagger features another Ramuh themed Burst Soul Break, but this one is a lot a bit better. 55 attack, 132 magic, 105 mine, bam, 105 mine, and a small boost to lightning damage at all times, which is useful, especially in a lightning themed team. Your Burst Soul Break Trial by Lightning temporarily raise the attack and magic of all allies a moderate amount, so onion buff, but instead of Hastega, you get a resistance break to all of the enemies lightning specific, and hasten burst mode to the user. So by itself it has no damaging effects whatsoever. That's kind of disappointing, but you do get to replace Onion Knight in a synergy situation with this move right here. You'll just have to find your Hastega elsewhere. Your burst commands are actually quite interesting, and they're really what make this ability, because the Burst Soul Break itself is really just kind of a buff and a small break. But you summon Ramuh, restore a moderate amount of HP to one ally based on their max. That's all it does on initial cast, but it'll grant you that Summon Strike token we've seen before, and if you have the Summon Strike token, you get an additional heal to the entire team, which is what, proportional to their max HP, small amount only though, and it deals 2 AoE lightning damage attacks to all enemies. So you would probably want to summon Ramuh first and heal somebody, then lead into Glimmering Peridot, which deals 4 summon magic, lightning, and non-elemental attacks to one target, but if you have the Summon Strike mark, you get a 5th attack. So it's not going to compete with other mage or summoner artifacts for max magic DPS like Sid Reigns or Alphinaud, his Burst Soul Break, but it does have a split heal slash damage slash buff and weakness encouragement all on one Burst Soul Break. So it does have a pretty high utilitarian functionality. It's good utility item right here, but again, not going to be your ultra damage item unless you just spam out this Glimmering Peridot and you're in a lightning situation, in which case you're good, you're fine with that. And it seems like you have about a 0.95% chance to draw this item here. Next up, we have the Q Garb for Quina. Sorry, I almost said quinoa, like the food. So Quina, it adds a small boost to water damage at all times, which is kind of rare, but still fairly nifty. 17 attack, 91 defense, 139 resistance, and no other stats. And your Burst Soul Break here, Pumpkin Head, deal 5 ranged physical attacks to random targets, and full break them a large amount, and grant haste and burst mode to the user. So the fact that it's only 5 attacks and it's to random targets means in certain situations you do have the potential to miss a target and miss your break. But the trade-off for that is it does break a large amount, which is going to be very useful and stackable with certain other breaks. Small breaks it'll stack with, and single stat very large breaks it'll stack with. So for synergy, and as well having a B team support character here, this is not a bad Burst Soul Break. Really, the random targets just kind of adds in that element of what the hell is going to happen when I cast this. But the breaks are good, and boost to water damage also kind of cool for certain bosses that are weak to water. Consuming Power, deal physical damage to one target and temporarily lower its attack and defense a small amount. And Cuisine Magic, deal physical damage to one target and temporarily lower its magic and resistance a small amount. So she has small breaks that will stack additional to the main effect of her Burst Soul Break. Pretty nifty. You will be able to cripple your enemies fairly well using this Burst Soul Break here. And burst commands are just dependent on what type of enemy you're fighting against, really. Or who's on your team and what you're using. Seems like your percent chance to draw this item here is about 0.98%. Now, this isn't a character that I'm particularly interested in, but this is a fairly good item right here, so kind of won't be too upset. She looks like a grandma, like an old lady. I haven't played Final Fantasy IX, so don't shoot me for that. I heard it's a good one. I need to go back and play it. Alright, next up here, we got Terra's Legacy for Kuja. 55 attack, 128 magic, small boost to dark damage at all times. So Kuja can fit in pretty well on a dark themed team. Golbez, Dark Knight Cecil, Sid Raines, Seymour, all characters that could pair up, you know, pretty well with Kuja here. Burst Soul Break Force Symphony, deal 8 magic, dark, and non-elemental attacks to random targets, and temporarily lower their dark resistance. Grant haste and burst mode to the user. So he's empowering his ability to do more dark damage. The 8 magic attacks that are random is a little bit higher than the 5 that Kenia has, or whatever the hell her name is. So still a smaller chance you may miss a target in a multi-enemy situation, but overall, this is probably a little bit better of a Burst Soul Break, just depending on what you need damage. Then you'd want this one, obviously, support for the other one. Clutch Shot Burst ability, or Burst Command number 1 is your Clutch Shot here. Deal 4 magic, dark, and non-elemental attacks to one target. Deals more damage if you have Memento Mori'd yourself. And Burst Energy, 2 magic, non-elemental, and dark AoE attacks to all enemies. And as well, if you Memento Mori'd yourself, you get boosted damage. So overall, this is not going to compete on your A team with the likes of Sid Raines. You know, not going to be quite as high damage output, but still a reasonable damage output. Good for synergy with Final Fantasy IX, and maybe a B team or A team complete dark theme. You could fit this in somehow. I wouldn't be upset if I drew it. I could always use more dark characters. And you've got about a 1.07% chance to draw it. Next item here, Super Soul Break for Beatrix, the Force Shield. 17 attack, 133 defense, 89 resistance. Small boost to holy damage as well at all times, so if you're stacking this with her OSB, you'll get some nice holy boosts there. Super Soul Break, Sword of the Clear Mind, 6 physical, holy, and non-elemental attacks to all targets, and infuse the user with the power of Holy Light. The main functionality of this move would be to lead into her Overstrike. Other than that, really, I mean, or any other holy setup you have for her. But other than that, you know, it's just kind of your run-of-the-mill damage and infusion type move. There's nothing really that screams this is awesome, but you would want to bring this along with her OSB and as well into a holy weak dungeon. It wouldn't hurt to have it. And your percent chance to draw the shield here is about 2.22%. Kuja's Guise, Super Soul Break here, so another item for Kuja. Small boost to dark damage as well, so nice little stacking boosts on his relics here in this banner. 17 magic, 114, 114 defense and resistance. Light armor, that's interesting. They've boosted each stat by +1 there, so it is very slightly better than other light armors for mages. As well, your Super Soul Break Clutch Strike, deal 5 magic, dark, and non-elemental attacks to all targets, and temporarily infuse the user with the power of dark. Again, this is a Super Soul Break that will stack well with his Burst Soul Break. You Memento Mori yourself, you maybe cast this first, then you've amped up your dark damage a reasonable amount, as well as lowered the resistance then of the enemies if you're packing the Burst Soul Break as well. So, for his dark theme, this fits right in. If you are building Kuja, you would definitely not mind pulling this, and you got about a 1.90% chance to snag it. Next up, we got the Royal Gown here, another item for Garnet. This is the first item that the bonus effect is synergy dependent, but 17 magic, 90 defense, 137 resistance, and 17 mind as well. Super Soul Break, Enveloping Warmth. Raise the magic of all allies a moderate amount and defense a small amount. Automatically HP stock them to 3k. This effect honestly is not going to be really anywhere near as useful as her Burst Soul Break on this banner. The Burst Soul Break features a lightning weakness to the enemy, as well as a heal, as well as damage, and an AoE heal with the Summon Strike also. So, really, the magic of all allies a moderate amount, she already has that on the Burst Soul Break, and the defense a small amount's probably not going to be as good as the attack a moderate amount as well. So not as good as Onion Buff. The HP stock can be useful, but I'd rather, again, have her Burst Soul Break a whole lot more than this one. And it doesn't really add any bonus effects to really make it stand out as something you'd want to have equipped on her unless you're in a Final Fantasy IX dungeon. So that's one of the more lame duck items on this banner here so far, and 1.82% chance to draw it. The Golden Hairpin here, another one for our pasta but not friend, Kina. Sorry, I'm always struggling to try to pronounce it. I always want to say quinoa. But another small boost to water damage, no synergy required. So again, nice little elemental stacking boost there for her on this banner. 17 attack, 28 magic, 82 defense, 119 resistance, 27 mind. 4 ranged physical attacks to all targets, and temporarily raise the attack of all allies a large amount. This Super Soul Break will complement her Burst Soul Break reasonably well. The attack of all allies a large amount is nice because it'll stack as well with Garnet's buffs. So, better Super Soul Break than the robe for Garnet overall, and it fits in nicely with all of the synergy for buffing and breaking effects on this banner. Not probably the item I would want to draw, but it will be useful and it does have its functionality. 1.96% chance to pull it. And last but not least, we have the Trident for Freya here. Probably the least interesting character on this banner. Her sprite looks weird too, I don't know. Attack 130, no other stats. Small chance to blind, which is a very circumstantial bonus effect, but can be useful in a very small percent of situations. 6 Dragon, Super Soul Break, deals 6 ranged physical wind attacks to one target and temporarily infuse the user with the power of wind. Doesn't really mesh well with too many other items on this banner, but might find functionality on your B team or on a wind-based team. I don't really think Freya is the greatest character in this game at all. I avoid using her, so I would probably want to avoid this item as well. Not for me, the Trident there. 2.40% chance to draw it, so it is your highest drop rate on the banner. That was all of the items, and I already did the 100 gem draw by mistake and only got a 3-star item, so you guys really didn't miss much. Honestly, I didn't want anything too insane on this banner. I'd rather get thrown some garbage luck here on this one and hopefully get some better luck down the line on some more important banners. My Final Fantasy IX synergy is extremely weak already, and I don't have any resources to really invest in this banner to flesh anyone out, so getting one useful item would have been nice, but I'm really not too butthurt that I didn't get anything at all off this one here. I know I'm a little late covering this banner. Really, again, it was because I was testing out so many different emulators trying to get this to work. Hopefully I can live stream a little bit with this, but don't expect all of my future Relic reviews to be this presentation. Again, I know like the YouTube chat thing that's up there is kind of just out of place because it's not using any chat right now, but I did want to just test this out, and since this banner is about to be replaced, well, not replaced, but since Banner 2 is about to come out, I figured I'd just kill 2 birds with 1 stone here. So, again, even though it's a little different this episode, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Relic Review. Stick with the show, and I will have more reviews coming out for you fairly regularly here. Little contests, other little tidbits and fun stuff, and other games as well here and there. If you're a fan of Hearthstone, I'm going to be covering the meta change later this month and opening all of my pre-order packs, so that could be something you guys might be interested in as well. But in the meantime, I hope you guys have great luck on your pulls. Nazdarachi here, and I will catch you on the next episode. Later, y'all. Peace.